Ready for the 40th Arizona Nationals here at Firebird Motorsports Park. It is the Swedish driver with a championship from Europe, Ida Zetterstom. Glad to have you here in Arizona with us, and of course win the championship in Europe. Coming over here now to Arizona, part of JCM, but what's kind of some of the biggest differences between racing in Europe and now racing here in NHRA with these dragsters?
Oh, I mean, it's different, but it's also very similar. I mean, it's the same type of passion, the same great atmosphere at the drag race where, you know, the families come out and spend time watching us run the cars, but also work on the cars, and all the teams being there, the kids and the families coming up to the ropes, and we get to sign autographs, spend time with them. In that regard, it's the same. We had some fantastic crowds over in Europe as well, where we had between 30 and 70,000 people in grandstands in a weekend, and that's something that's so cool to see over here, just how tight that passion is, like worldwide basically. But when it comes to racing, NHRA is the pinnacle of drag racing, and obviously over here the teams are bigger, the fields are bigger, the budgets are bigger, the season is longer. I had about a 6 to 8 races schedule over in Europe, and over here we run the 20 race schedule. This year I only have 10 races so far on my schedule because we are not fully funded, but we're searching really hard to find the right partners to run the full season. But overall, racing, if you're gonna go to a drag race, NHRA is where it's the absolute best and the highest competition.
And one of those great competitors that you talk about is your teammate Alexis DeJoria in Funny Car, and it is Women's History Month here in the U.S. still for all of March. How special has it been for you and Alexis to be the only women's nitro team in all of NHRA history? You said that you guys didn't even know it until all of a sudden everyone started telling you guys, but how special has that relationship been for you two in building something special together?
Oh, it's been fantastic. I mean, obviously there's been so many great females out here for many years, not just in NHRA, in sportsman classes, but also in the nitro classes. And we've seen teams before that have multiple women racing in nitro classes, but it's the first time ever that it's only women, you know, only women on this with me and Alexis. And it happened organically, and I think that's what I love the most about it. This is just two girls out here loving what we're doing and feel like we have a lot that we still want to do in this sport, and the energy is really high. So I feel like her and I, we match together really well. We have a ton of fun in all the interviews we're doing. We've been really backing each other. Last weekend I didn't have the strongest outing in Gainesville, but she was going rounds and their team needed help, so our guys were over there helping. I was there helping her team and helping her get suited and ready and in the car and all of that. So it's been a fantastic amount of teamwork and a fantastic spirit in our team, and I feel like for JCM, Gainesville was a fantastic weekend, and seeing how our teams work together, it gave us a little glimpse of what's to come for this season. I'm very excited for it.
And like you said, I know a little disappointed last week in Gainesville, or last race in Gainesville with that finish, but you're coming to a track now that was one of your first passes here in the United States.
Yes.
What's going to take to get everything in gear, try to win that first ever Wally here in the U.S.?
Oh, well, drag racing is so tricky. I mean, just like Jasmine mentioned in this press conference that we talked about, you can go from being on top of the world and running your best runs to struggle in the next race, and that's also something that can give you hopes in these times where I was struggling the last race, knowing that it only takes that little bit of getting everything together to find the right combo to go down the track here this weekend. I feel like the conditions are going to be great out here. The track is always fantastic. It's always such a nice atmosphere out here. And like you mentioned, I did my first ever passes here last year. So even though I haven't raced at this track before, it feels good for me to have been able to gone down on it before and have those fond memories of being the first time down with the JCM team here earlier. So I think we can do it, but obviously there's a lot that comes into play with it. I'm looking forward to 4 strong qualifying rounds and then getting that confidence to build up and going into race day on Sundays.
The European champion, Ida Zetterstrom, looking to find that first Wally here in NHRA. Might it be right here at the 40th Arizona Nationals?